Well, hello dear Poke fans. This time we're back. Back at school in our dorms. So it's a new update that rolled out, and I have no idea what the update will be. But yeah, I think there's some performance issues being solved in the background and so on. Don't really know much about it, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just going to go do this class stuff again. What class? Let's tackle the 5th lessons of everything. You'd like biology with Mr. Jack? Yes, please. Okay. Hello, hello. I hope everyone is ready to learn something new today. But before we get going, do you all remember the final question of our midterm exam? Yes. Well, Director Clavel found about it somehow. And I got yelled at. Whoops. Lol. Apparently he could tell I was hiding something just by looking at me. He must have noticed all the color flush right out of my face. Speaking of color, today I'd like you to teach about colors as they pertain to Pokemon. Some Pokemon have slightly different coloration or patterning on their bodies based on their gender or individual differences. In very rare cases, a Pokemon may have wildly different coloration compared to the others of the same species. We call these specimens shiny Pokemon. It's quite rare to cross paths with one. It's odd Pokemon talking about shinies. Does anyone here know what the likelihood of finding a shiny Pokemon is? It's about 1 in 4,000. Oh, that's right. You may have the makings of a Pokemon professor, Sir Richie. Shiny Pokemon appear at the rate of 1 in 4,000. Isn't that amazing? The probability of encountering one in the wild is the same as hatching one from an egg too. Eggs from a pair of Pokemon raised around differing languages are a special case. There is a higher than average chance that a shiny Pokemon will hatch from these eggs, but we haven't been able to figure out why that is just yet. I have also heard rumors of a charm that increases your likelihood of finding shiny Pokemon when you have it in your bag. Can you believe that? This claim can't be scientifically verified, but it sure would be fun if it were true. So he's talking about the shiny charm which you get when you complete the Pokédex normally, and the multi-different language breeding of eggs is known as the Masuda method, which I could explain in a breeding video, but not today. Oops, there's a bell. That's all for today. Thanks for your attention. So that was easy. Was a bit of an easy class here. So yeah. Oh, that's all class that I have. Oh boy. Maths. Okay, and let's pay attention this time, because last time I got so confused. Yeah. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves here. Hello everyone, let's have a fun class today. Did you make sure to review the last class's material in order to stay sharp? I know it was a little difficult with all the talk of multiplication and percentages and the like, but today we're talking about percentages again to learn about probability. That may sound like we're going to have another difficult class, but did you know that all of you already deal with probability on a regular basis? Pokemon's moves generally have a property called accuracy, which admires the probability that they will hit. The accuracy of a tackle is 100 or 100%. So if you were to use tackle 100 times, you could expect it to hit all 100 times. The move Hypnosis, which puts opponents to sleep, has an accuracy of 60 or 60%. That means you could expect to hit 60 times in 100 uses. To put it away, out of 100 uses, you could expect it to miss 40 times. Many of these truly powerful moves often tend to have lower accuracy. So when you're deciding whenever to go slow and steady with moves that are sure to hit, or hard and fast with stronger but less accurate moves, you're already studying probability. Let's see here, perhaps Surf and Hydro Pump would be great examples for this disclosure. Surf has a power of 90, its accuracy is 100, meaning you can expect it to have hit every time. Hydro Pump's accuracy is only 80, but when it hits, its power is 110. So between Surf and Hydro Pump, which move would you want to use yourself? It really depends on the situation, lady. Oh my, I see you're always considering various possibilities, Richie. That's true. I may have made it sound like there was a correct answer here, but there's not. You're free to use any moves you wish. Factors like PP or numbers of the target hit may make some moves more suited than to certain situations. However, trading accuracy for power or vice versa is purely a matter of preference. This Surf versus Hydro Pump debate has been ongoing for quite some time. Personally, I'm more invested in debating the rock type moves Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Let me tell you, I could get really worked up talking about those moves, but oh my, there's a bell, what a shame. Next class will be the last of our time together, so show 100% ready to go. Oh. So we have a 6th class and then it's straight to the finals, I guess, the final exams. Also history. You'd like history with Mrs. Rayford? Yeah, sure. Class will begin soon, don't be tardy. Greetings, my little students. Whatever you did yesterday is now a part of history. Today we will continue to unravel the marvels that history has presented to us. I trust that you all remember our lessons before the midterm exams concerning the great crater of Paldea and its interior, Area Zero. I think I spelled Paldea wrong everywhere. Whoops, just realized. This mysterious crater captured the imagination of many, including the former Paldean Empire. 200 years ago, a group of explorers claimed to have finally reached its depths. The name of the team that arrived at this great feat was the Area Zero Expedition. The team is said to have been made up of Paldea's best and brightest, skilled battlers, brilliant researchers, talented individuals of all kinds. Among the list of team members was the name of a man who was an author and brilliant natural historian, Heat. After returning from the expedition to Area Zero, he used his literary talent to record the events of the expedition and publish them. Perfect timing to make eye contact, young Sargent. Let's see if you were paying attention. What was the name of the team that first made it to the deepest reaches of the Great Crater? The Area Zero Expedition? Correct. To pick up and remember a term I simply slipped into the flow of the lecture. You really are quite a clever one. The correct name of this team was the Area Zero Expedition. The record of their activities, written by the expedition member Heat, can be found in bookstores and the like even today. This record is known as the Scarlet Book. At the time, the entire region of Paldea was absolutely buzzing about Area Zero. The Scarlet Book was so popular that practically everyone had a copy. However, the book itself was full of fantastical descriptions and illustrations of things that could never been thought as of real. The masses began to call Heat a liar. Even the truth of the expedition making it to the bottom of the crater was called into question. The Scarlet Book was condemned to the shelves of the bookstores as just another book of wild paranormal stories. There's a copy on one of the bookshelves on the ground floor of the entrance hall. Feel free to have a read if you're interested. Uh-oh, is that time already? I must have gotten swept up in filling your minds with knowledge. This ends today's lesson. We'll unravel more of the history's enigmas together next time. So there is the Scarlet Book in the school. Might go look for that. What class? Languages? With Mr. Salvatore, of course. My dear friends, how are you all today? I hope you are doing marvelously well. It's time for another of Salvatore's languages lessons. Êtes-vous prêts? Are you ready? Well. I would expect no less from my excellent friends. Even your replies to my questions are excellent. Today, we will learn once again to begin focusing on listening. Away, go for it, my assistant, Pikachu. As you remember from our last class, the same Pokémon cries may sound different depending on what it wants to say. Today, that is, we'll be learning more about Pokémon languages used by Pokémon. Je t'en prie. If you would like to be so kind, Pikachu. Pika! That sounds a little bleak, doesn't it? His voice seems a little lower pitched too. What emotion do you suppose Pikachu was trying to convey just now? Say it again. Is this happiness? Come on, he's... If that wasn't a happy Pikachu, I swear. What was it then? Sadness? Gonna flip my dusk and reel, I swear. Au contraire. On the contrary, I believe it's the opposite when Pikachu says Pika. It's expressing sadness. Kind of makes you want to cry, doesn't it? That's right. I hit my little Pikachu cry as if it was crying. Funny joke, right? Don't you think it did a great job? Give Pikachu a round of applause, everyone. And now, apropos out of nothing, let me give you all my wise words of advice. If you hear one of your Pokemon making a sad noise like this, you should treat them with even more kindness than usual. Well, you probably already knew that too. A piece of cake for you all, I'm sure. Of course, this goes for your classmates and others as well. Friends should support each other in other times of sadness. I truly hope that you can all have smiles on your faces all the time, my friends. Our Prussian class, next lesson that is, will be our final lesson together. I hope you're all ready for the climactic finale. Adios, matane. But I don't get this. Like, just for that alone, I would like to see, like, what would he do when you say it's happiness? Would he say it's correct? Well, if I would have picked sadness, because like the description he is telling, yeah, fair, okay, I figured I was going to be wrong with it being a little bit bleak and so on. But then again, like the expressions of that Pikachu, that wasn't sadness at all. I've seen sad Pikachus. They don't sound anything like that. In fact, where is the voice acting on the Pikachu? Like for a few generations, they brought in like the Voi from Eevee and the Pika from Pikachu, and that's not in this game. So I'm very confused on like those 8-bit noises. Like those are the very first sounds of Pikachu, I believe. No, that's the registry. So while I'm just rambling, I'm gonna look for this Scarlet book here. Because it will be on the first floor, she said. So I think this is the first floor. Pokemon Natures, no. Oh, this one. It's a Scarlet book, the mysterious red tome. Do you want to read it? Yeah. Which selection would you like to read? Well, maybe just put away the book. We're not gonna read that all today. Battle studies, yeah, sure. Like, it messed me up so much last time with the Pikachu and again now. So I don't know if it's like scripted that you always fail that, or if it's actually the truth. So yeah, what the hell. Another day, another round of battle study. Asu, let's get right to it. I hope you all gave other battles a shot while you talked about last class. Making good use of other battles will let you train up a bunch of different Pokemon. It's also an efficient way to gather the Pokemon materials you need to make TMs and TM machines. Speaking of which, have you all been using the TM machines? Nope. I sure hope so, cause it's popped quiz time. To create TMs you need Pokemon materials and one other thing. Anyone remember what it is? It's LP. Looks like you're already a TM machine pro, new kid. The correct answer is League Points, or LP for short. You can give LP and Pokemon materials to a TM machine to create TMs. But that's not all. You can also exchange Pokemon materials at the TM machine to get LP. I recently heard about some shady individuals getting LP illegally using the technique called hacking or something like that. I don't want any of you getting involved in bad stuff like that. Got it? Anyways, you can also add TMs that you want to make to watch your list. This will let you keep an eye on the materials you need to gather. In conclusion, in order to make TMs you need Pokemon materials, and if you want to get holds on lots of materials, you'll have to battle all kinds of Pokemon. Oh man, I was just about to suggest we do some hands-on practice to really drive the point home, but I guess we're never gonna have the time. Class is over for now. Take care, you little rascals. I don't know, it still like bugs me. Art with Mr. Hazel? Yes, please. Hello class, it is I, Hazel, yet again. First allow me to apologize for losing my composure during our last class. I was so tired by Brasius' story that I simply couldn't contain my emotions. I'm sorry for making such a scene. I certainly got a very stern talking to from Mrs. Time after that class, yes. Anyway, let us shift gears and dive into the material for today's class. Now, have any of you heard of the 10 sides of Paldea? Oh, me, I saw one. As the name would imply, there are 10 sides in Paldea that are considered particularly beautiful. Among them, I would say, is the Grand Olive Orchard. It's likely the most accessible. You can see field after field of olive trees from the hill on the way to Cornholio. 2 waterfalls are also counted among these 10 sites, the Fury Falls and the Gasaroya Falls. I saw the Fury Falls. Then there's a peak of the Glacedo Mountain, known as Paldea's highest peak. There's another cliff on the Glacedo Mountain that's named after its rather unique shape. So let me ask you, my students, what is the name of the tree-pronged cliff on Glacedo Mountain? No need to grasp at Strauss. The Glacedo's grasp. Gave it away. Psh. Exactly. It looks like you're like a hand taking hold of something, doesn't it, Sarigi? The three-pronged cliff on Glacedo Mountain is in fact known as the Glacedo's grasp. Thought its shape is far too stubby to be that of a human hand. I imagine someone thought it looked like a Pokemon hand grabbing something. There's also the mountain in the Area 3 of the East Province, where you could get a good look at Lavincia. It's particularly glorious at night. In fact, the view is so brilliant, it's known as the Million-Fold Skyline. I heard it's quite a hotspot for dates, and deservedly so for having such a romantic view. I imagine it's, what do these kids say these days? Very fleek selfie spot. Who says that? Of course, you may feel that not all 10 sites live up to their grandiose names. How often do we visit some tourist spots only to be disappointed? Not to say that you shouldn't visit them, only that you should keep your hopes in check. The important thing is to go yourself and see them with your own eyes. And sometimes, disappointing experience can be a worthwhile in its own way. Take a chance. Well, that's it for today's class. Thank you for your attention. Yes, let's do home economies. Put away your phones, it's time to begin class. While you're out performing fieldwork with one of your Pokemon walking alongside you, have you ever noticed it changes its coloration? No, I don't mean that it suddenly becomes a shiny Pokemon or any nonsense like that. I'm speaking of it becoming filthy. Pokemon battle, they get hurt by moves used against them. They get battered up by wind and rain. They get covered in sand and in mud. They get, in a word, filthy. I have seen many a trainer walking about with their adorable little Pokemon without addressing this issue. It's deplorable. Let me ask you this question as someone who I am sure would not tolerate such a shameful conduct. Ah yes, Master Sorigi. What would you do if your Pokemon is dirty? I would clean it up. Perfectly correct. I know I could count on you to provide me with such an answer. When your Pokemon are dirty, clean them. This is, of course, simply common sense. While you are having a picnic, you can approach Pokemon on your team and perform a variety of actions. One such action is putting them through what I like to call the Pokemon wash. In other words, you are able to clean them up. You start by getting your sponge lathered up with soapy bubbles, and as you gently and carefully scrub your Pokemon, once your Pokemon is nice and covered in soapy bubbles, the bubbles will encapsulate the filth. Then you simply wash it away with a spray of water. This will get your Pokemon clean and shining, bright as a Pterodactyl. It is certainly quite a bit of work, but this will also restore HP and cure status conditions. However, some Pokemon may have parts of their bodies that they don't want to get scrubbed or they wouldn't rather not get wet. Be sure to keep this in mind when cleaning your Pokemon. Now, the most important point that I must mention is that Pokemon like to be dirty. So, I will contradict myself by saying this. Please do remember that cleaning your Pokemon is not always the kind thing to do. Our time together has come to an end for today. I bid you all farewell. Imagine that actually being a mechanic, that if your Pokemon are too dirty, that they don't want to come out of their Pokeball because of shame. And like, cleaning Pokemon would actually hurt them. No, I don't want to revisit the class. Never mind. Can I go somewhere now? No. Oh god, come on. This one here. Anything? No, okay. Just gonna flip through this Scarlet book. Yes, so the Great Crater of Paldea, a photograph from the survey's team, point of ingress to the crater which is invisible in the background. Luck favored us with fine weather, making for a smooth outside, but the clouds obscure the greater distance depth where the treasure of the legends is set to lie, now onwards and downwards. Okay, nice. Adventure into the Area Zero. Within the Great Crater of Paldea lies mysterious Area Series, such a place home to such landscapes, such plant life and such Pokemon as we had never seen. It is inhospitable to human life and such, I suspect, something altogether unknown. Humankind sleeps in its depths. A photograph of a spot where the survey team has rested on day 2 of the expedition. Note the strange symbols inscripting in the ground here were left by explorers in the time of the Paldean Empire, or could they be older still? Regardless, they seem as if they must hold some meaning. Area Zero cartograph, legend from a spiral down the inner walls of Area Zero, offering a path of descent. Vegetation and sources of water are here as well. Legend tells that these precious stones or wondrous fruits have long slept in Area Zero's depths, protected by some manner of guardian. Okay. A Pokemon of Area Zero is catches by a survey team member. Surprisingly, the Pokemon species we observed in the upper strata of Area Zero seemed little different from those seen outside of the crater. Now and then, we heard unfamiliar cries from the lower strata. The monsters of Area Zero. As we descended further into Area Zero, we began to catch glimpses of mysterious Pokemon. So we wonder if these huge, furious beasts were indeed Pokemon at all. One of our team suffered a brutal blow from such a beast and was mortally wounded, forcing us to retreat for the time. Well, that's a painting of a great task, if you ask me. A member of the survey team captured this photograph by chance. I noticed a passing resemblance to the Pokemon known as Donphan, yet differences such as its sheer size and the shape of its back set it apart, as do its great tusks. Herba Mystica. Area Zero is home to wondrous herbs that instantly impart vigor when eaten. We dubbed them Herba Mystica and attempted to grow some in area around Paldea. However, Before we could harvest, the herbs were eaten by Pokemon, which in turn grew large and strong. We call these Titan Pokemon. Ooh, okay. The mysterious plates. During our descent into Area 0, came across a buried metal plate inscripted with a strange symbol. We attempted to shave one of the pieces of the plate, but it failed to leave an even scratch. Even determining the nature of the metal seems beyond modern science. We don't know why the inscription was made, let alone how. The legendary Trev. Countless days into our descent, we reached at the very depths of the Great Crater. There we found a cave with information of gemstones shining blindingly bright as far as we could see. Perhaps the strange light itself is the guardian set to watch over these treasure deep within the crater. A drawing of a fantastical Pokemon, as envisioned by our sketch artist. The size and ferocity of its strange Pokemon that dwell in Area 0's lower reaches tickled the artist's imagination, prompting the sketch of what other species that inhabit these depths might look like. Well, he looks like a mixture of those 3 dog legendaries. That would be cool. A phantom memory. During our exploration of Area 0's depths, I hid strayed from the team and was later found unconsciousness. When awoken, I could only recall speaking with someone in an unfamiliar place, a bit as it was if in a dream. I found holding the page shown here. The handwriting is my own, but I have no memory of writing this. Our generous sponsor. The author he'd pictured with the director of the Naranja Academy. The Academy's generous funding made the area expedition possible, and the data gathered has been shared with the Academy in hope that it will aid in situation, research work, and foster future generations of scholars and scientists. About the author, the author of the Scarlet book, shown here with his partner Cyclizar. A natural historian as well as writer, he was chosen for the Area 0 expedition and penned this account upon returning from the Great Crater of Paldea. Cyclizar aided in the expedition as well by bearing the team's luggage and equipment. Ishk Pokemon, while separated from the research team in the crater's depths, I found a strange entity. Whenever it was a Pokemon or even alive at all, I know not. It bore a a soul with layers of over. Oh, it bore with layers of overlapping hectagons and brighter still than stone. Vivid as a whole. It wrestled a mysterious giant disc. What is this? That's strange. Put away your book. Yeah, okay. That's all. Don't think there's any classes until we finish up. Yeah, no. No, nowhere to speak. So this ends the 5th lessons here. And we read through the entire book of yeah, the Scarlet book. So I guess I'm gonna leave you all here and we'll see you all next time. Take care everyone, and yeah, love your support. Bye bye.